Hi, my name is Zhannat Alshanova, and I'm a director of the feature film Becoming, that is had an Asian premiere here in Busan.
Okay, tell me, but this was your first feature, so how was the transition finally from shorts to feature?
Long. Yeah, I mean, it was like I think it took us exactly 5 years actually from the moment I started writing the script till the world premiere. So it was quite a journey, I must say.
And in terms of, like say, more artistically, having a bigger script, like shooting for longer time, how was that experience, would you say?
I think it's not about the longer period of time or a bigger crew. I think it's more about not about the script, but I think it's more about like trying to maintain the balance between all the elements, you know, because we also like apart from making it the first feature, it also was like a very complicated co-production. We had like 5 countries. I was also producing it, so I think that didn't help to make it easy. But yeah, I guess it was just managing more things and trying to kind of glue them together and find the common ground for everyone.
So in the end, you are satisfied with what came out?
I think so. I mean, of course, there are things like, I guess it's for everyone. Like you wish they were different, or you wish they could be better, and like. But I think we did the best we could, and I'm happy with like. I'm happy with the performances. I'm happy that the story is there. It's consistent. So it's hard to tell if I'm satisfied or not, because I guess the director is always, I guess to some extent, are not satisfied because you want things to be better, and you know exactly all the elements that you wish could be improved. But I guess we did a good job overall.
And tell me a bit about the story. What was the inspiration behind it?
Actually, it somehow started with my first short film, End of Season. That was my graduation film from the London Film School. And in the film, the main protagonist, she's in her late 50s, and she's going through her own crisis in life. And at the end of the film, she goes into the pool and swims. So it's just like the final shot, okay? But we were talking with the actress about what it meant for her to end the story like that. Why it's a water, why it's a pool, what about swimming? That kind of triggered something in her. So I guess we went maybe a bit too deep into the backstory. And somehow, like, it created the whole story by itself, you know, like while just talking about it, like this about the swimmers, the mentality of the swimmers, the victory, like the pressure. So I guess it stayed with me since then, and that was like what 2017 when we shot it. So it kind of like didn't leave me the story, the setting, and I started kind of looking deeper into it. And exploring more about the sports and the swimmers in particular. I also read this article about like how swimming is the most lonely sport. Because like, you know, for example, if it's a football, you have your teammate, you have your audience, you constantly kind of interacting with others. And when you're a swimmer, even if you have a team, you're always by yourself under the water most of the time. So it's all about like kind of, it has like a very rich spectrum for like a mental space of the individuals, and I guess all these elements they start kind of like, you know, like combine with each other. I start talking to different swimmers. Initially, it's supposed to be in the swimming pool, the whole film, but then I realized that like, you know, when we swim in the pool, it's more about the speed and how athletic you are, and when you compete in the open water, it's more about your strengths, how you can like maintain the stability in the very uncertain situations, because obviously everything could change. You know, like you have the weather, the current, all the other swimmers around you. So everything's changing all the time, and you need to maintain kind of the peace in your mind to be able to go forward. And I found that this is very rich kind of setting for this kind of story, you know, to explore how someone is getting through the challenges and kind of mirroring these challenges with the open water swimming as well. So I guess it's all these elements kind of start coming together and eventually got into the story.
And why in the 90s? Was it difficult?
No, it's a modern times.
It's modern times?
Yeah. It's set like in nowadays Kazakhstan.
Oh, really? Ah, okay. Because there were some references to West Germany and stuff like that. And
In
I
what?
thought, like some references to West Germany.
Oh, they were just talking about like in the past,
Ah,
like
they
in the
were
West
talking about
Germany,
the
they
past.
used to have this thing, and like it's just like a kind of an anecdote that she was telling. No, it's a modern times. They like with the phones all the times.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, and tell me a bit about the character of the mother. For me, she's very ambiguous. Like she's a bit irresponsible towards her children, immature, but also something that happened in her past made her that way. Or, I don't know.
I mean, I think for me, it was all about like this kind of different generations, because you can see, like you judge the mother because she's like she looks so irresponsible in a way, but then you see her parents and you understand that she also tried to escape maybe from this kind of traditional conservative setting, reinventing kind of her own way of living and trying to find her own way. So I think that in Kazakhstan, we're such a young country, we're like 34, and after Soviet Union collapsed and we got our independence, it became kind of we're still trying to find ourselves in a way, and every generation faces so many different challenges and so many different changes in the society, in the economics, in the politics. So I think like everyone has trying to find something new, build something new, including mother, because she was like not happy with the way it was her family life. So she tried to find something for herself. She tried to be like more free, like more kind of prioritizing her feelings, her joy, her emotions, trying to find the stability with the man, because I mean, that's one way as well, like, and of course you can judge it or not, but I think she was trying, and like for me, I know she's like this ambiguous character, and like you can be very judgmental about her, but as well, I feel that she's trying her best to make things work in her own way. And I, like when we were talking with Aysel Kalieva, the actress, we discussed that, yes, she's like that, but she's also believes in what she's doing, and she believes that she can make it work for everyone, including the girls. And she believes that, like they like in this independent union that they can find their own way of like living and getting through, and she'll find a way to bring them to Europe or something to kind of give them a better life. So I think she's trying her best. Yeah, maybe not it doesn't quite work in different ways, but still, and she doesn't give up, I think, as well. So she like there is this kind of spectrum of being torn as well between, I guess, your private life as a woman, like and trying to find your own life, but also being a mother, and how these two things sometimes clashing with each other.
But isn't there like a kind of like accusation towards the previous generation in the films? Because most of the girls seem like their parents are nowhere, they are doing stupid things on their own. So, no?
I don't think there is any accusation towards anyone, because you could say like there is accusation towards Darida because she's like leaving the kids, or there is accusation towards the parents because they have their own kind of values and judgments. But I feel it's also like it's just what happened at that time, like it's value that every generation inherited or tried to reshape. So like that's how the clashes happen as well, and I think that's why for Mila it was for her character it was a challenge to kind of finding what to lean to, because like I think that the idea, like when she first comes to the grandparents and she sees that they have a stable, that they have a family, there is this sense of a sense of family, and you can like in a second you can lean towards it and be like attracted to it, but then you see that the values are not really the ones you share with, and for her it's like like you can never find what you want to be part of, and how in this kind of structure, how do you find your own place, and how do you create your own system So for me, it was more about just like not accusing anyone, but just showing the environment and the different layers of society, different layers of values, and how do you navigate that.
Not even the grandfather? Not even the grandfather? Like...
But then, like, for example, like, yeah, but what did he do, the grandfather? I mean, what can we accuse him for? I mean, as well, like, like, when Vlad, for example, pushed away, it's because he knows that he's in charge. He has like the grandfather has some weight, and he's trying to kind of distance himself from Mila, but actually it would do good for her because he was like scanning the girls, like, so it's in a way also like worked as a protection in one way or another. So, like, I mean, no, I don't think I have any like personal feelings toward anyone, like as a negative character.
And tell me a bit about Vlad. He's also a bit ambiguous, I guess.
Yeah, but for me that was exactly the intention, because of course we know lots of similar stories of like young women being like attracted to the coaches, to the managers, to the teachers, whatever. But like for me, it was not about him being like a bad guy, but also it's more about her perception of him, or what she sees in him, what she kind of tries to find in him, because for the first time someone is caring about her, someone is sort of creating some structure. You can say it's a father figure, you can say just someone who sees her. So for her, that's what she's attracted to, And of course, she's a young woman, so of course there is a sensuality and sexual desires. Of course, it's part of it. But for me, it was more about like what she's kind of, the image that she's projecting on him, and that she's trying to kind of, like match the image with the reality. So up until like, like even when she asked him like to have sex with him, he rejects her. So he has some
boundaries,
sort of moral values. Yeah, you can say that, because like, like, yes, he's attracted to, for me, he's attracted to her. He likes her. Yes, he has his own business. He has his own agenda. We don't need to know much about it for me, because we're in Mila's perspective. But it's more, it's kind of this combination of who he is and what she wants to see in him.
And with the protagonist, do you identify to some levels with her, or is it the protagonist?
Yeah.
Do you identify with her somehow? Is it like kind of inspired from your experiences, let's say?
No, I wouldn't say it's a part of my experience, but like it's not autobiographical. But of course, I can relate, because like, I mean, it's set in Kazakhstan in modern days, and it's all about like how hard it is to navigate the environment around you, because we have so many things going on. We have the languages that is like clashing with each other. We have the Soviet kind of past. We have influence from the West. We have our own traditions and values, like inherited from the generations. We have like the class differences that kind of changes and evolving. So there is always so much going on for me. And I find that it could be very difficult to navigate through it, and for each generation becoming harder and harder in a way, I feel, because there is more new layers to getting added. And I was just trying to see and to show how the young women are going through it as well. Because, for example, originally we're quite traditional family oriented society, which started to shift. Like before, like you have to get married, like not have to, but it was kind of a standard to get married quite early, have kids, blah blah blah. And now it's changing, and like how do you find yourself in it? Because you like confronting almost with your family. So like I mean I can identify in one way or another. But it's not like autobiographical. But of course, I need to talk about something I can relate to make films.
And tell me a bit about the cinematography, what you want to do in the visual aspect of the film, and also how difficult it was shooting in lakes and pools.
Yeah, of course, like the lakes were quite a challenge because it's also like, you know, when we talk about the swimming in the open water, it's all about the changing environment and unpredictable circumstances. So it can also, it's similar for the shooting on the lakes as well, because we had like rains, we had like a drop of the temperatures. So it was difficult for everyone technically and emotionally, because I mean, you know, like sometimes you not be able to achieve what you plan. But apart from the shooting in the lakes and swimming pools, I guess we tried to, with the given time and the budget, I think we tried to do our best to kind of focus on the emotional journey of the character and try to be close to her and try to express what she's going through, but also with a simplicity, because like the story doesn't have like this huge dramatic moments, and for me like the most important direction of the film is like it's about these small changes and small shifts. So I guess the cinematography had to be quite simple, not to take too much attention to it, and kind of like let the audience stay with the character and kind of feel what she's going through and like observe the way she was observing what was unfolding around her.
And the camera follows the protagonist quite closely. I think maybe she's almost in every scene in the movie. Was that difficult for her? Easy for her?
For the actress or for the cinematographer?
Tell me for both.
No, I think I don't think it was difficult for the actress because the camera was following her, because I mean she's quite experienced actress and I find that she knows how to be on camera and how to feel it. But of course it's all about like I mean it's always, I guess, the challenge is to make sure that there is a connection between the two, because they have to be in the dialogue in a way, you know. But I wouldn't say necessarily it was hard for her to be followed by the camera.
And how was the casting process like?
The casting was actually quite great because I don't know, like I mean, I was very curious about like getting to know. Sorry, what you were asking? Forgot.
Casting.
Oh, casting. It was very interesting because like I got to meet all these like young women in their 20s, you know, like that I don't really see in real life, and I can tell the difference between my generation and their generation because suddenly I felt that they have more internal freedom somehow, you know, like they're very different. They're more like easy in terms of expressing what they are, what they want, what they like. And you can tell how the society changed as well, you know, like just by looking at them. So I was really, I don't know, like captivated by this process because like I just like getting to know them, you know, like just getting to know the generation and like what they are and what the values are. And I think it was very fast in a way. Like we found all the actors, I guess in like 2 months or something. And another thing was like to find the combination, you know, like to make sure that there is a chemistry between all of them, that there is a connection, you know, to build a family. Because we wanted to look at Mila's character first, and then to find the mother and the sister and all the girls around them. So kind of to create the whole picture. No, but it was very exciting.
Okay, and how was your cooperation with your actors? Do you allow improvisation, for example, or you're strict with them?
No, I'm not about strict or not strict. I usually try to cast someone who is close to the character, you know, like, and I try to kind of find the combination of what I imagine while writing and when I see a real person. So it has to kind of align. I'm not trying to impose something like completely like that could not be like portrayed by this person. So I think like when we during the casting process we kind of played around and looked how everyone can be in this container of of the character in the script. And then, of course, I mean, like Tamiris, for example, the actress who played Mila, she's very intuitive and she's very emotionally smart, intelligent. So you don't need to tell her much, you know, like she has her own process, and I allowed it to happen on camera. And sometimes, of course, like we work together to kind of get the best result. But it was very like, I didn't have problems with actors, you know, like it was very kind of organically fluid in a way to try to find the right the right arc on the performances.
So who did you have problems with?
I'm not telling you that.
Okay. All right. And tell me a bit about how did the editing work?
Oh, the editing was quite great. We had a French editor, and I guess the question was how she's gonna edit the film that is not in French or English. But it worked quite well, and I think she had a really great eye on like the emotions of the scenes and what's needed, and she could feel it. I think because for me, I'm more like, I guess, like a emotionally driven person. So like for me, it's important to have someone with me with the same kind of tuning and levels of like understanding of what is important, what's worked. And I guess it's also like a big question of like having similar taste. What do you like and what you don't like? Because I guess when you have like a completely opposite taste, then it would be very difficult to stay with someone in a dark room for several weeks to kind of.
How long did it take?
I think it was like 12 weeks or something.
12 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we had a break in between, which also like helped us to kind of recalibrate and to step back and look at it and get back with the fresh eyes to work. No, but it was really fruitful experience for me working with her.
And how would you describe the Kazakhstan movie industry at the moment? What is the situation there?
The what? Sorry.
The local movie industry.
I think it's an interesting place for sure, because like when I first decided I was doing like finance before and like accounting and all that thing.
Really?
So when I decided to move into film, there was nothing happening in Kazakhstan at the time. So everybody thought I was completely crazy.
When was that?
That was like 2012, like around that time. There was like maybe 1 or 2 films coming out, you know, maybe even earlier actually, 2010 or something. So if you compare what was in 2010 and what is happening now, it's quite a big leap, because now you have like, I don't know, like a 70 or like 100 films produced per year. There's a lot of independent productions. There are a lot of like there was like a period when we were doing only like commercial comedies, which was like cheaply made, but at the same time like they brought the audience to the cinemas, and they made the Kazakh cinema kind of appealing as well. You know, like it's not my taste necessarily, but like it did something to the industry. Then people got tired of the genre. They tried to do something else, like try different genres. So I think it's still kind of, I think it's developing quite fast at the moment. Like I'm very curious to see where it will go further. But because there is this hunger, you know, like both from the audience and from the creators, to kind of break through and to create something interesting and to find the balance of being commercially successful but also interesting, and also in, I guess, in general the film industry is changing so much at the moment. So I'm very curious to observe where it's going, how it's developing. But there are like so many talented people building their own stories at the moment. And like especially we were talking recently with someone that in the last 2 years, especially the women directors are kind of thriving quite a lot. Like you have several films international film festivals, and I'm quite hopeful for the industry. Like it's a bit hard because we're a small market. So it's not like you get like a huge box office so that you can refinance your own films. So I guess people are trying to find the combination between private money and state funding, which is always kind of in a constant change, you know. But yeah, I mean, I hope it will find kind of more stable way of developing it further.
And has the film opened in Kazakhstan?
Not yet, because we just had a world premiere in Locarno in August, and then Asian premiere it had to be in Busan because it's secured like a while ago. So I guess for Kazakhstan we will try maybe next year to open up.
And future projects, are you working on anything new?
Yeah, I have a next project that I'm writing for the UK, for the Channel 4.
Oh.
So we'll see.
TV series or?
No.
Movie?
Yeah, feature film.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
You.